Hi, welcome back to our online preparation course for the TOEFL test. In this video, we are going to continue getting prepared for the reading section of the TOEFL test. In this module, we are going to be covering the tone, the purpose, and the course. So, as soon as you are ready, let's get started. Okay, so first of all, what is a tone? The tone is the author's attitude towards the topic, and this is expressed through the words and details he or she selects. In order to determine the author's tone, we must notice how the words that were chosen by the author are used in the passage. Okay, so in this exercise, we have 6 different tones: optimistic, bitter, tolerant, sentimental, humorous, and objective. But an author can also be impartial, okay? But in this case, we are just going to focus on these 6 tones, okay? So in number 1, it says, "This place may be shabby, but since both of my children were born while we live here, it has a special place in my heart." What do you think the tone is? Okay, remember that the tone is the author's attitude. Okay, the tone in this sentence is sentimental, right? Why? Because the author said it has a special place in my heart. So it expresses tender emotions. In number 2, it says, "This isn't the greatest apartment in the world, but it's not really that bad." What do you think the tone is? Okay, the tone is tolerant. If you notice, the author mentioned not really that bad. So he accepts the situation while recognizing that it could be better. Number 3, it says, "If only there were some decent jobs out there, I wouldn't be reduced to living in this miserable dump." What is the tone? The tone is bitter. The author mentioned miserable dump, so he resents a situation that forces him or her to live in a place like that. Number 4, "This place does need some repairs, but I'm sure the landlord will be making improvements sometime soon." So what is the tone? Yeah, optimistic. Yeah, the author is sure that the landlord will be making improvements sometime soon. Number 5, "When we move away, we are planning to release 300 cockroaches and 2 mice so we can leave the place exactly as we found it." What do you think the tone is? Yeah, it's humorous, right? Okay, the writer plans a comic revenge on the landlord by returning the apartment to the terrible condition it was in when the tenants moved in. And the last one, "This is the apartment we live in. It provides shelter." What do you think the tone is? The tone is objective. The writer is not expressing any kind of feeling about the apartment. He is just simply stating facts. Okay? There are lots of different tones, and actually in the binder you can find some more of them. Okay? So, how is this applied in the TOEFL test? Here we have a passage. Remember that first we read the question, and after that we try to find the answer in the passage. So this question is asking you about the tone of the passage. So it is important to read the topic sentence in order to find what the author's attitude was. So let's read the first sentence. "Military awards have long been considered symbolic of royalty, and thus, when the United States was a young nation, just finished with revolution, and eager to distance itself from anything tasting of monarchy, there was a strong sentiment against military decoration. So if you notice by reading the topic sentence and by looking at the dates and the years and the events, we can notice that the tone of the passage is informational. Okay, so it is important that you pay attention to keywords in order to determine what the tone, what the author's tone is. Now, let's continue with the purpose. The purpose is the reason an author writes about a topic. And there are several purposes. So in here we have 3 of them. We have to inform, to entertain, and to persuade. When somebody informs about something, this person is giving information about a subject, right? They provide facts that will explain or teach something to the readers. For example, pain is a normal part of a physical process that lets us know something is wrong. So they are just facts. When the author is entertaining, right, the purpose is to amuse and delight. He wants to appeal to the reader's senses and imagination, or to captivate or interest the audience. For example, yes, I have gained weight. I weighed only 8 pounds when I was born. So if you notice, the purpose of this author is to entertain. Another type of purpose is to persuade, that is like to convince the reader to agree with a point of view. No, they give facts, but their main goal is to argue or prove a point to readers. For example, the death penalty is deeply flawed and should be abolished. So in this case, the author is trying to persuade, to convince the reader to have a certain point of view. Okay? There are some other purposes, but these are the most important. So how is this applied in the TOEFL test? Again, we have the question, the author's purpose in this passage is. So it is important that we try to scan the passage as much as we can in order to identify the purpose of the passage. Okay, so by reading the first sentence, again, military awards have long been considered symbolic of royalty, and thus, when the United States was a young nation, just finished with revolution and eager to distance itself from anything tasting of monarchy, there was a strong sentiment against military decoration. In here, you need to read a little bit further. Okay, you have to pay attention to dates, to facts, and maybe read the final sentence. Although the United States is still somewhat wary of granting military awards, several awards have been instituted since World War I. So if you notice, the purpose of this passage is to demonstrate an effect of America's attitude toward royalty. Okay? The last point is the course. In this case, we are going to be determining in which university course the reading passage was used, or what course was it planned to be in, right? So, in this case, the passage would probably be assigned reading in a course on, and according to all the information that we have already read, we can determine, right, that the course was American history. It was not about science, it was not about psychology, it was not interior decoration, it was about American history. So, which are some common questions when they are asking us about the tone, the purpose, and the course? What is the tone of the passage? What is the author's purpose in this passage? In which course would this reading be assigned, right? So let's review the process that we need to follow in order to determine the answers. When it is about the tone, we need to skim the passage looking for clues that the author is showing some emotion, no? Choose the answer that identifies the emotion. When it is the purpose, we need to study the main idea in the topic sentence and the details used to support the main idea, and we need to draw a conclusion about the purpose. And when it is about the course, we need to study the main idea in the topic sentence and the details used to support the main idea and draw conclusion about the course. Okay? In the binder, as I said, you can find several types of tones, yeah, and you can find also a very helpful exercise. Okay? After that, go to the practice section and put in practice these skills in order to be able to answer questions related to the tone, the purpose, and the course. Okay? See you next time.